Hello, good morning, students of class 12, Commerce and Science. Welcome to Pandasar's virtual class on English. And today we are going to start a new chapter titled On the Face of It from your book's name, Vista. So, in this story, something extraordinary we will find that how in the world only two characters can make an interesting story. But that is possible. It depends upon the skill of the storyteller or the writer, that what he puts in the story so that the reader become compelled to finish or read the story. However, in our story, only two characters. The first one you can see here, Mr. Lamb, an old man, retired soldier, and a small boy of 11 or 12 around called Derry. Only two characters, Mr. Lamb and Derry. See the age gap between them, and we will try to find in this entire discussion what is special, what is the factor, what is the element that binds both of them, that connects both of them in this story. So, to reveal, to expose the veil from the story, let me tell, there is something common in them. Despite their age gap, we can understand very well. Mr. Lamb, being an old man, had worked in the military and around 60 plus, hence a full package of maturity. He has seen the world, he has seen different people, he has encountered different tough situations in his life, and a complete bundle and package of experience. Whereas for Dreary, it is only the early morning. He has not seen much, but we can say that he has suffered much. So, what is that suffering? So first come to the point, what is common in between Mr. Lamb and Dreary. Both of them are suffering from some sort of physical impairment. And you know, when we have some physical impairment, suppose we are affected by polio, or we lost one of our limb, or we don't have visual power, we don't have hearing power, we cannot speak, we are dumb. All these are physical impairment. And when someone suffers from physical impairment, obviously he or she becomes something different from common people. In what way different? And what causes that difference? That we will see in this chapter. So obviously, as both of them are having physical impairments, but to encounter that shocking incident that made them physically impaired, and how both of them are dealing with it, we will find in the story. Mr. Lamb, when he takes it easy, he remains cool, and he never allowed this impairment to affect his usual life. And in fact, in one sentence we can say, he has enjoyed every minute, every second of his life, as if he were not physically impaired. But shockingly, that is not the case in case of Dreary. In some accident, he burned his face. He met with an acid accident, and half of his face got disfigured, and he looks horrible. You can imagine someone burnt half of his face with acid, then how horrible he would look. And that impurity has changed Dreary. He is no more a common child because he has seen something very serious in his life, and it's quite difficult to digest such accidents. So, in some way, he has become withdrawn. Withdrawn means just remaining engrossed in your own thinking, in your own work, in your own horizon. Just as if you have put a boundary around you. You have put a boundary around you and you want to remain inside that. You don't want to encounter anyone. You don't want to gossip with anyone. Because somehow you have developed a sense of inferiority complex within you. You think that you are inferior to other people, and you always think that other people are laughing at you, they are pointing at you, they are staring at you without any reason. And believe me, such people usually, when someone encounters such a physically impaired child or person, usually becomes sympathetic and tries to demonstrate or show some sort of sympathy. And this is my advice: never do that, because they never take coolly your sympathy. In fact, it irritates them. They never can accept the fact that I am physically impaired, and that is the only reason why the man or the person in front of me is becoming sympathetic to me. The same attitude you can see in Dreary. Now come to the chapter when the story starts. A little more information about Mr. Lamb. He is leading a retired life. He has lost one of his legs in some accident or in some blast, and he has a leg made of tin. And see how cool he is. He never hides that impurity. And people funnily, small boys, funnily, they have named Mr. Lamb as Lemmy Lamb. Lemmy Lamb means someone having a defect in one of his legs. But Mr. Lamb never becomes angry. He always tries to become friendly with each and every person he encounters in his solitary life. Yes, solitary life. He lives alone in a house, and there is quite a big garden surrounding his house, and it has a boundary wall having a gate, and he enjoys his life inside that boundary. He loves to watch the nature. He loves to watch the flower blooming. He loves to collect the berries and apples and makes jelly with that. In fact, whatever nature has provided to him, he is quite satisfied with that. So, when the story starts, what we find is Dreary entering stealthily into the compound of Mr. Lamb, thinking that no one is inside there, and he wanted to enjoy the solitary condition, environment of that boundary, inside that boundary, and accidentally he was discovered by Mr. Lamb. And when he became aware of the fact that Mr. Lamb is there and he has seen him, a little bit he starts feeling awkward. But see the greatness of Mr. Lamb. He tries to comfort him. He tries to soothe him. And tries to develop a sense of friendship with Dreary, which Dreary could not take so easily. It took some time. They start conversing, and naturally, Dreary thinks that Mr. Lamb is looking at him and laughing at him because he has a bald face. But in fact, Mr. Lamb was also impaired, and he was trying to start a little bit friendship with Barry. And topic of their conversation, gradually Derry starts opening up. He finds Mr. Lamb to be quite interesting, quite different from other common people. Even at the end, what we find is that he starts liking Mr. Lamb. Their topic of discussion. Derry reveals the fact that why he wants to remain alone or want to remain solitary. Because he don't love anyone, because he don't like anyone. On the other hand, Mr. Lamb tries to convince him that it is not like that. You simply want to change your vision, you change your mindset, change your thinking, so that even if you are physically impaired, still you can enjoy the nature, people around you. However, not convinced. After a lot of conversation, a lot of discussion, Dreary tells Mr. Lamb that now it is enough and he wants to go back to his home. And he promises Mr. Lamb that he would return. But Mr. Lamb knows very well that whoever has encountered with him and once gone from that boundary has never returned. Dreary reaches his house, talks to his mom. Mom says no, Mr. Lamb is not a good person. But that conversation he made with Mr. Lamb convinced him that obviously Mr. Lamb is a very nice person. And he becomes adamant, and once again he comes to meet Mr. Lamb. And when he comes, what he saw was that Mr. Lamb has climbed on a ladder and plucking apples. At that time, accidentally, that ladder fell down and Mr. Lamb fell with a thud and he lost his life. And at the end of the story, what we see is that not able to digest the sudden demise of Mr. Lamb, Derry starts weeping because somehow he has lost a person who has a real sympathy for him, who has started a friendship with him, and now he is no more. Weepingly, repeatedly he was saying, Mr. Lamb, see, I have come back. I have come back. So how people from different age group deal with a common problem like physical impairity has been the theme, the main matter of the story. And of course, this is all about the story. You go through your book and whatever questions you find in the book, you please try to answer them. And now continuously we will take a couple of lessons. Thank you and have a nice day.